Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. If you have been here before, I am so happy to have you back as always. If you're brand new and are stumbling across this channel for the first time, I am so thankful that you've chosen to share space and connect today, that you've made your way over to this space. Even trust that if you have, there are messages here for you in one of these readings. And again, I'm so appreciative of your presence. So before we begin, I just want to put the disclaimer out. Let me go ahead and adjust some things here quickly. Whoops. I want to put out a little disclaimer that today's been a really rough day for me. But it was really important for me to record today. It's a pretty big day. So unlike a lot of readers, I've noticed that when they're struggling, they seem to kind of get quiet, and that's fine, stillness and just kind of surrendering to the present moment and just being with that is good sometimes. But for me, I noticed that a lot of time, this is very therapeutic to actually come on here and to do this and to connect with source so directly into channel. And so I do this as much for myself as I do it for everybody else. And it brings me so much joy. It brings me a lot of joy and a lot of peace, peacefulness and serenity doing it as well. So today was a really important day to do this, and I wanted it kind of recorded because what's cool and unique about when you do something that involves filming and recording, whether your face is on there or just, some part of you, is that it captures that moment in time. And so today, as I said, is a little challenging, and today's reading topic is actually derived and is inspired by a personal, a deeply personal and meaningful kind of event going on in my own life. And so, I just felt like it was a really important topic and probably something a lot of other people could identify with and resonate to that energy as well, and maybe need some insight and clarity on. So, as we speak, as of the time of me recording this, so that I can always refer back to this video and know this, where I was and what was happening. You know how they say, like, where were you when this happened? At this time, the house, the childhood home that I grew up in, that my family has owned for the past 40 some years, that most of my family grew up in, that I grew up in, that my son grew up in, and that we recently moved out of. We lived there my son's entire life. So from the time he was 5 months old until he's 12 and a half now. It's in the process of being sold. Like literally, they're closing the deal today. And it's a very bittersweet moment because while, endings always bring with them new beginnings and the opportunity for growth and expansion onto something again, new and exciting, it's sad to let things go and to move forward and to experience change. So, like I said, wanted it recorded and on record what's happening today. And with that, the reading topic, the pick a card we'll be doing today is, what is your next step? So, for all the viewers here today, whatever it is that you may be going through, it could be similar, it could be completely different. Whatever the case may be, this is what your next step is. Sometimes we can't see too far ahead, or we're not clear in our thinking, or we're just so emotionally tied to something that it's hard to see the way forward or to see things clearly. And when that's the case, I think it's so great to come in and again, connect with source, allow them to speak, and to bring forth the insights, the messages, the clarity, again, that are so important for us to be able to move forward. And so that's what this reading is about. If you've listened to this whole intro, kudos to you. And if not, that's fine if people skip it. But if you have stuck around for this entire beginning, that's awesome. And I thank you. But yeah, this is going to be a reading on what is your next step. What's next for you that you can actively be doing to move forward in your life? Not what's next for you, like what may be coming and what is on the horizon for you. I've done readings like that. This is your next step to take. So this is going to be action oriented. This is going to be spirit, prompting you with something. But I think it's going to be a good one. I think people are going to really appreciate it and enjoy it. So let's get to it. I've chosen cover cards from the Oracle of the Roses deck by Sherilyn Darcy. And for pile 1, we have the Citizen, which is also the Lion Rose, and that's going to be with the orange calcite. Pile 2 is number 32, the Advocate, or the Louis Van Hot Rose. I don't speak French, clearly. And that's going to be paired with the, I believe that's Jasper. Red Jasper. Pile 3, card 27, which is the Liberator, or the Mille de Sombril Rose. And that's going to be with the aura-coated quartz. Take a moment, reflect over whichever card or crystal is calling to you, whichever maybe timestamp is drawing you in most. I will meet you over at your chosen pile in a moment for your reading. Okay, pile 1, the orange calcite and the Citizen card, the Lion Rose card that you chose. Now, the Citizen card, obviously this is going to have very societal vibes. There could be a community sort of focus for you right now, or how you're showing up in the world, what you're representing in terms of your own individuality in the collective. We're going to actually read what this card signifies in the book. And as always, when I choose cover cards, I have selected and intended the cards, but chosen by Spirit. I ask that whatever needs to come out for the energies, to embody the energies of either pile, or any particular pile rather, that be the card that comes out to symbolize it. And so for this pile, the energy that Spirit has identified is going to be prominent is that of the Citizen. So I want to read for you what the book meaning is. We'll delve into it. We'll see how it resonates to the rest of the reading. We're going to get tarot, of course, as well as more oracle. But this is the overall embodiment of the energy that is supporting the reading for those watching this pile 1. So the Citizen card says, is what you are doing in keeping with the direction and outcome you want to achieve? If not, what would you need to change for you to better align with the energies to achieve balance and success? It is all well and good being the rebel, but sometimes you do need to fit in, work with proven methods, and not try to reinvent the wheel to get to your goal. The Citizen is the everyday person who is focused on democracy and the betterment of the people. They are approachable, friendly, and easily connect with others. Now, the energies and the overall meaning of this card is tied to the ideas of balance, authenticity, truth, acceptance, and belonging. So again, you know, there's a strong element here of just a communal feel. One of how you are presenting yourself and showing up in the world, perhaps even what you can contribute. But there's also even just an element of like morality that I'm picking up for some of you. Again, I have no idea what this relates to, but we're going to take a look. We are also going to, of course, be using tarot. And for pile 1 today, you guys are going to be having the Lonely Ice Tarot. So we'll start with the tarot deck. We'll get into some oracle, and we are asking today, what is the next step for you to take? What's next on your journey? What do you need to be focusing on? What actions should you be taking right now? If you are at a crossroads, or you are at a bittersweet time in your life as I am, and if you don't know why, I invite you to watch the intro. Then this is the reading for you. Trust that you are finding it in the right time and space for your energy. This is a timeless reading, of course. And, you know, set the intention that you're open, ready, and willing to receive the insights that are going to present forth today. That's the best way to receive the messages, to take in the insight and the guidance that comes through, that is presented for you. And you should select a sign as well if you feel called to do so, because by doing you know, that act of, again, setting another form of intention, and this is what I'd like to see, and communicating clearly to Spirit how they can help support you, what sort of symbology they can show you to achieve that, they will answer that request. You know, you'll see that symbol or sign not only in the reading itself that you are watching, but usually in other areas of your life as well. So it's really cool. It's a lovely way to play with the universe, and I highly, highly suggest you select a sign. So pile 1, the Citizen. Let's see, what is your next step? What should you be focusing on? What should you be doing? What should you be working on right now? We already have a flyer. We have the Knight of Wands. We have the Fool, the Moon, and the Queen of Coins, Queen of Pentacles. In clarifying this energy, we have the Ace of Wands for the Knight, the Three of Swords for the Fool, the Page of Pentacles or Page of Coins in reverse in this deck. I don't normally take reversals, but that feels relevant. When they do come out, which is rare, I usually take them. And the Knight of Pentacles, Knight of Coins. Okay, so lots of earth energy here, obviously, with all of these coins or pentacles, which is going to be Taurus, Capricorn, and Virgo. We do have Cancer and other water energy embodied in the moon. We have swords, which is air, obviously, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, and lots of wands and fiery energy, which is going to be your Aries, Sagittarius, Leo energy. So let's get some oracle on the board as well here. I want to know, what is the next step for you? Pile 1. I actually just think it's easier to do this, sort of, than to just try to adjust all of the cards. I mean, I'm still going to do that a little bit because it's important and I can't not do that, but the camera angle sometimes helps. If you've never been here before, this is just a necessary evil, necessary part of my readings. They need to look good. Okay. So we have, this is so funny because as I was shuffling this deck, this is the first card that stood out to me. And that happens a lot, I notice. Like when I'm shuffling a deck or working with a deck, one particular card will stand out to me when I'm looking at it. It'll just like make itself more prominently known, and then that usually ends up coming out. We have card 22, Tender Embrace. And number 45, Beyond the Ordinary. As I said, there's strong energy here of how you're showing up in the world and what you can present and bring forward. And I think Beyond the Ordinary is a really strong indicator of this. You know, it represents for me this idea of uniqueness and individuality and your unique talents and skills, and maybe perhaps what you possess, your essence that is, again, uniquely yours, and how you can present that, how you can bring that forward, how that can become incorporated into your more daily living, or in how, again, you are interacting with and engaging with and perhaps giving towards others in the world. So what I'm seeing here is currently a really strong message of pursuing a new beginning after a period of loss or some sort of disappointment, perhaps even heartbreak. So the energy that I think you're sitting in, while you are very much focused on stepping back out into the world and what you can offer, what is on offer, and what there is that you can bring to the mix, you know, to the collective, in sharing and in collaborating and creating. However, I don't actually feel any active energy at this time to do that. It feels very much like, if I'm honest, almost like a hunkering down sort of a vibe, like someone who is hesitant to take that step forward, who is not feeling completely secure. We have the Fool energy, which is clarified by the Three of Swords. So again, this is somebody who could still be in a period of loss or pain and grieving something, missing something, feeling the emotional pain or loss of something in the past, and just really struggling to move forward and move beyond that. No matter how strong that desire is, it's almost as if to say you can't actually feel confident and secure and motivated enough to take that next step, to take the leap. You know, but the next step for you is what we've asked, is actually to step into that energy, to embrace that, you know, that innocence, that naivety, that vitality about pursuing life and being eager and excited for everything that is to come, even the unexpected or unknown nature of that new path. Because there's so much that you do have to offer, Pile 1, and you should step beyond the ordinary. You shouldn't keep yourself small and stay in a box. You know, it's really strongly indicated here also that you just need to step out and show the world what you've got. You know, be that citizen-like energy. Authenticity is a strong sort of a nod in that card as well. It's a really significant part of the meaning of the Citizen card. So authenticity and truth, and yeah, just how you're showing up and what you want to present to others. There's so much passion here for that. You know, again, the Knight of Wands clarified by the Ace of Wands. The next step is to just go for it. It's basically Spirit saying to act on that passion, to act on that drive that you feel, that inspiration. There's something that you're on the verge or on the cusp of choosing to do, and yet, you know, it feels like there's a bit of confusion here, or a little bit of you know, fear about the unknown. We have the Moon energy, which can represent confusion and fear and illusions, or things not being revealed and seen clearly, being remaining hidden, clarified by the Page of Coins in reverse. So this beginning energy, this energy of somebody, you know, having a tangible offer or a tangibility to what they can present and what they can bring forth and what they have available to them. And again, with that energy being reversed, it's blocked right now. It's not something that you're able to fully access, or in the case of the Moon, maybe you can't even fully see that currently in the energy. Maybe that's not made clear to you. But the Queen of Pentacles here, clarified by the Knight of Pentacles, is to say that no matter how slow or how progressive this shift is going to be or needs to be for you, that's what is ahead for you, is big abundance. Your next step is actually to be someone very secure, materially speaking, in the real world. You know, not only is the Queen of Coins someone who is materially secure and grounded and practical and confident, you know, in her earthly or material affairs, but it's someone who's well regarded, who looks and is revered by society, that has their life put together, that has a very strong presence, somebody who is very highly respected and regarded. And I do think this is what, you know, this energy is, again, tying back to the Citizen. So for you, it's really about stepping into your power of this queen-like energy, again, no matter how slow and progressive that needs to be for you. Because of the fact that this is what's next. You know, this is what needs to happen. This is what you're feeling the urge and the call and the desire to pursue. And Spirit is saying that is the next step. What you're feeling called to do is sort of like our impulse, your inner being is Source, and Source is always obviously flowing through you because you're never apart. And they're encouraging you, they're supporting you, and they're, you know, when you're coming into alignment and you're feeling those wonderfully positive, excitable feelings, that is Source energy. And that's the impulse, that's the feeling that you should follow. The freeing feeling of stepping into that energy of newness. Again, not the fear of the Moon, that's our ego kind of at play, but the one that tells you, makes you feel called to, again, step beyond the ordinary and really pursue something big and bold and sort of like a new way of life. So tender embrace, you know, I'm not really clear yet on where that plays a role in this energy, but we're going to get some more information and see what else we can gather for you, Pile 1. What is this next step that Pile 1 should be taking? The Nine of Coins, Knight of Pentacles, the Ace of Swords, the Hierophant, and the Three of Coins, the Three of Pentacles. Clarifiers here are the Eight of Wands. That's definitely indications of communication. This is about speaking your truth, Pile 1. This is sharing your wisdom, collaborating with others. The Nine of Wands for the Ace of Swords. You're hesitant. You are hesitant to share this message. You don't need to be fearful or afraid or deeply guarded about sharing your spiritual, you know, self. We have the Four of Swords in reverse for the Three of Coins. Again, this blocked energy of knowing and wanting to collaborate with others and step out into society, and yet, you know, choosing to stay stuck or to stay a bit stagnant and to not act and to not put yourself out there. We also have the Nine of Wands, which of course is that hesitancy, that sort of riding the line of being on the verge or the edge of doing something and yet not taking that leap, not actually making those steps, you know, taking those steps forward and making that intention, that effort known. You know, and hard work or effort isn't what equates to success and to abundance. It's truly all about our energy that we're embodying, the vibration we're carrying. That determines our life experience. We literally create and deliberately create and intend our reality with every thought that we have, with every belief that we believe. And we have to believe that we're capable, and we have to feel secure, and we have to not be afraid. And as much as it may seem like, You know, maybe this isn't the right timing for this, or are you really somebody important enough to do something like this? You know, whatever this is, looks like it, you belong in the public eye. You belong as somebody who is, again, highly regarded. The Nine of Coins here, the Nine of Pentacles, this is like pre-Empress energy. It's somebody who's just like very well revered, well regarded. They have their life put together. There's security abound here. And then Ace of Swords, you know, it's almost like the sword of truth when you think of the traditional imagery. And that relates back to, again, this idea of authenticity and not being afraid to show your true self, knowing and believing that that's how it needs to be and that's how you want to live, you know. And I think that that's what's so important about all of this too, is again, so as an embodiment of our beliefs and our energy, that is what determines what our experiences will be. And you know, we can't be afraid to have those and to let the world know and see what we've learned and what we can share. We're all of value. We all are deserving of a wonderful life, and you can absolutely have it. You know, so your next step is not to continue to hang back and kind of stay stuck and not want to collaborate and come together with others, or not to transcend these difficult energies. Again, that period of pain and loss that you're sitting in with that Three of Swords, that undercurrent of you know, difficult, painful energy. This is a time for you to just begin anew, to start over, to have that new beginning. What is this Tender Embrace card here for? The Seven of Coins, Seven of Pentacles, the Ten of Cups. Okay, the Two of Coins. All right, so this is something you've been waiting on forever. So Spirit just wants you to know that that's, you know, connection, a relationship, or just more meaningful, sincere and open and, again, authentic connections with others, intimacy, true intimacy. It's what will make you happiest. It's something you've waited a very long time to have. It's what you want to share with someone, and yet the energy hasn't supported that thus far. There hasn't been a stable enough foundation for that to occur, but they're here to come through to say, like, that's also in the works. These next steps that you're taking are going to be what helps you to step beyond the ordinary, to have this extraordinary, again, this Nine of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles life, this life of the citizen. But also, as a byproduct of that, what it'll be bringing forth is this 22 energy, this energy that reduces down to number 4, the energy of stability and groundedness and harmony, and, you know, tender embrace, the energy of connection, kind of like a Two of Cups. You know, we also have the King of Coins. So for a lot of you, that's like a husband energy or a spousal energy. So, you know, there's big changes ahead for you, but it all involves you kind of stepping outside of your box, stepping out into the open. Anything else that we need to know for pile 1? Their next step. What should they be doing? Practical steps. Two of Swords. The King of Swords. This is about indecision and confusion or overthinking. The Ten of Wands, thinking that things aren't possible, or that, you know, you can't have it. Death, you know, so this is transformation. This is rebirth energy. Clarifiers, King of Cups. The Lovers. This is very much about connection to others and stepping out there into the community. And that, you know, that's also how a lot of people meet someone. So it's a tie-in. The Eight of Cups and the Queen of Swords. This is just truly being fearful or being cynical about that, the fact life can change for you, and that you can release your burdens and leave them behind. You know, I also think that, again, there's a strong element that comes through for me in terms of feeling that, you know, your life can't be any different, or you can't have certain things, that it's just not likely to happen for you, and you have to abandon that and let that go. That's definitely not the case. This next step about just stepping out there into the community, this could look differently for everybody. So this could be a new job. This could be getting onto a dating site, or going out and meeting some people, or joining a friend group, a support group. It just means collaborating and connecting with others in a real world way. That is the key. You don't need to know every step ahead for yourself, you know, 10 steps ahead. You just need to know this next step, putting this one foot in front of the next. And that's how you're going to, you know, you take one step and then another step and then another step. And before you know it, you know, you're quite a distance. And so the next step for you, pile 1, looks to be, again, just kind of overcoming this painful energy, this need to stay stagnant and deeply rooted, almost like stuck, and to just get back out into the world. Let's get some guidance for you, pile 1. It's always good to get guidance, and what better deck to use than the Guiding Light Oracle? What guidance do we have for pile 1, please? soul contracts, card 13. Before you were born, you agreed to partake in specific experiences that assist in the evolution of your soul. Conscious living, card 59. Those healthy changes you have been meaning to make are imperative for you now. It's like, again, you're feeling so called and just inspired to do this, and yet you're not taking that action yet, pile 1. False assumptions, card 58. This is simply a misunderstanding. Let go of the need to be right. This immediately comes through to me as self-deception. And again, we also had the moon energy out earlier, which is the idea of illusions. So this is not seeing things for what they truly are, believing false narratives, having a very limited line of thinking or negative beliefs about something in particular related to starting over, or having this grander, more abundant life. Let's get a little bit more guidance for pile 1. Card 12, elementals, nature spirits, the 4 elements. This is, again, getting back out there, getting back out in nature perhaps first. The healing heart, card 9, love, acceptance, and romance. Again, tender embrace and the healing heart. So as you begin to heal, you're going to step into alignment, and that alignment is going to prompt you even more, that impulse that you feel to get out into the community, to be that citizen-like energy. That's just going to get stronger and stronger. And, that is what is going to be the precipitator of all of this beautiful, loving energy you're going to feel. Even just platonic love, connecting with others, but also I feel romantically as well in the future. We have wisdom of the Magi, card 5, mental clarity. So again, authenticity, seeing things for what they are, believing the reality instead of, laboring under these false delusions, having a very clear way forward. You have to start seeing things for what they are. And soul contracts is important because it's acknowledging that all of the contrasts, as painful as some, experiences that you've had have been, they all serve you, and you've agreed to them before you came here. If that's not part of your belief system, you have to open yourself up, with that mental clarity card, to seeing how the universe truly works, because that's also going to be enlightening and empowering, is that clarity of understanding how kind of everything comes to be. And it's something that's going to be incredibly powerful for you. It's going to allow you to live mindfully and consciously, and to take these steps towards that next big step, which is going to start the rest of your life. So pile 1, I hope that you've enjoyed this reading and that it's given you some clarity, some maybe food for thought, food for thought to think on. I am sending you so much loving, abundant energy from my corner of the universe to yours. It has been such a great honor to read for you today, to connect and to share space. I so thank you and appreciate you if you've, stayed here and remained till the end, and you've enjoyed this reading. And if you choose to subscribe, again, it means the world. It is essential for the growth and expansion of my channel. So all of your support is so meaningful and impactful for me. If you would like to book a private reading, if you would like to take a deeper look into this type of an energy for your personal set of circumstances, or into something different, I do relationships. We can look at truly anything that is of concern for you, or whatever your focus is. Go ahead and drop me an email. All of the information on how you can book private services, as well as other ways you can support the channel, it's all available in 2 places: in the description box, as well as in a comment that is always posted below. So in the meantime, I hope to see you in a future reading. I hope you take great care of yourself. Bye-bye, pile 1. Hey, pile 2, the red jasper and the energy of the advocate, card 32, which is also the Louis Van Hout rose. So this is really strong altruism energy. When I think of the advocate, of course, I think of someone who helps others, who's there for others, who's forming those connections, and who is, somebody who, it's important how you show up in the world. It's important that you're there for others, that you're, again, advocating for the greater good. There's a high sense of morality as well with this card. It's a similar energy to the citizen, which is interesting. But, what I've done, and what I always do when I select cover cards, is I intend and I ask Spirit to bring forth whichever card is most accurate to depict and embody the energy of whatever particular pile it happens to be, the viewers that will be picking up and tuning into that energy of that particular pile. So This, the Advocate, is the total embodiment of the energy for those of you, the majority of you that are watching this pile 2. I'm going to go ahead and read directly from the book what it actually says, and then of course we're going to pull lots of tarot and oracle cards as well, and we're going to get a full scope into, of course, the reading we're asking today, which is what is your next step of what you can be doing to be moving forward in your life. So the Advocate says, time for teamwork, enlisting the help of others, and a little bit of fact-finding. By all means, speak up, but brush up on your communication skills by pausing to listen until you are certain that your message will be taken in the right context and be as effective as possible. If you are stuck, then you need to reevaluate your commitments. The Advocate is dedicated to change for the greater good, and they will create a life that revolves around this. Those in their sphere are thought of as team and family members, working with them in all sorts of capacities for the shared vision. So this energy relates back to the ideas of commitment, friendships, communication, even mediation or persuasion. So again, it's somebody who just has a very strong sort of element to them of support of the collective, and that very well could be tied to the energy that you're feeling right now. Maybe you are serving in some type of a support capacity or a role where you're serving others and you're engaged with others in the community. You're a helper, you're somebody who likes to create change, you're a change maker, literally. But you know, this is just a wonderful energy that I think is a testament also to your character, the people that are tuning into this pile. Very, again, high moral standing, it feels like, as well. Somebody who holds their reputation and the way in which they're viewed by others and the way that they show up for others in high regard. So we're going to see how this ties into the majority of the rest of the reading today. And again, once more, we are asking, what is your next step that you can actually go ahead and take in your life with whatever circumstances you have going on? So this, you know, if you missed the intro, this reading was inspired by real life circumstances that I am personally going through that are very deeply meaningful to me. And it's just prompting a time of change, of shifting, and of learning, growing, and evolving. And so I figured if anyone else in the collective, and I'm sure there are many of you, of course you're here right now, are experiencing similar energies, then it was a good idea to have Source just come forth and bring forward all of the insights and the messages that you need most right now to help you be on the right path, on the right track towards your true north of what you can be doing, your next steps for just getting through whatever it is that's on your mind and heart right now. We're also using the Tarot del Tango for you today. And while I am shuffling, go ahead and just set the intention that you're ready, willing, and open to receiving all of the insights that are going to come forth today from Spirit. You know, of course, trust that you are also finding this reading in the right time and energy for your individual circumstances. It is a timeless reading after all. And while you're at it, go ahead and select your sign if you feel called to do so. So signs are important because it's an easy way to help, you know, Spirit communicate with us directly, support us. They, of course, are always hoping to do that in the easiest and most efficient way possible. And so by, you know, actually allowing them the ease and the means to do so, they will respond, they will answer. And, you know, you can look for that sign in the reading that you're actually asking for it, but often it'll show up in other areas of your life as well. So it's just a fun little way, again, to play with the universe. Ask for that sign. It'll help you anchor the messages that you're going to hear today. But let's go ahead and take a look at what is your next step, what you can be doing. This differs from the readings I've done where I ask what is coming next for you, because that almost implies, you know, just manifestation energy. So what is on its way headed towards you, perhaps with old energies you've already put forth focus towards, because obviously manifestations usually aren't instantaneous. There will have been a lot of lead up to those presenting forth for you. This, in contrast, is again actually related to how you can, you know, move forward, what steps you can actually take to bring about and precipitate that change. So whatever, again, it is that you're dealing with personally, that you have going on, this is the next step that you can take according to Spirit to support yourself, to help you kind of get through these energies and, again, move forward. So for pile 2, please. What is their next step? What next step can they be taking for pile 2? We have Justice. I hope that's in shot. the Star, the Sun, and Strength. Clarifying these energies. We have the Queen of Cups, the Emperor, and the Four of, I believe that is Wands energy. And you know what? As I say that, I haven't used this deck in so long, and it does have a very different sort of a setup. So I want to just be absolutely clear on what that is, but I'm pretty sure that that's what that is. Oh, and I hate when they do some different stuff with the suits, because then it's like, as much as that's kind of nice because it's different, right? It's unique and kitschy even, I get it. It's really hard for readers to remember all of these different correlations back to the original tarot. So bear with me. I apologize. I don't know why all of a sudden I'm just feeling not sure about what that is, and I want to be sure I'm reading that correctly. So these are, yep, these are the wands. These are the wands. Okay. So Four of Wands, and we have am I holding this upside down? I was holding the deck upside down, so we won't take that card. We'll continue shuffling. Oh boy. How? Okay. So apparently I got all discombobulated with this deck in the process of looking up that stupid suit. Okay. You know what? I don't normally take reversals, but these clearly seem like they pretty much want to be reversed, and I can't do much about that. So I'm going to put them right side up as best I can, but if they come out reversed, it's pretty much just going to be what it is, because did my best. All right, last card, clarifier for strength, is the Five of Wands energy. So let's make sure these are all in shot. Taking a few moments to make things look pretty helps for a much easier, smoother reading. Sometimes too, I'll watch these back and before when I'm editing them, and they actually didn't look too bad, like to you guys from your point of view, but on my end here it does, and so I fix it or think I'm fixing it, and then I'm like, why did I do that? So okay, let's get some oracle out on the table as well. Next steps for pile 2, please. Great and Full, card 4. It's beautiful. It gives me very strong Ace of Cups energy, of course. Beautiful. Card 21, Exposed and Revealed. So this is a really strong sort of an energy coming through about, again, authenticity, about morality, how you're showing up. Strong, again, ties to pile 1. We also have Justice energy coming out here. And clarified by the Queen of Cups, I feel like this is revealing your big, beautiful heart that you possess. And again, exposed and revealed. So allowing others to see that emotional depth, to see the truth and the reality of who you truly are. The Star clarified by the Emperor. So this is, you know, that strong faith that you've always held on to, this optimism, this groundedness, this just eternal happiness that I think you possess despite all circumstances that may be tested. Also, the Sun with the Four of Wands. So this too, this is about stepping into happiness and security and stability. These are really strong energies about almost like letting it in. I'm getting, for some reason, like an overflow of this great and full cup, this Ace of Cups. It's like allowing happiness in. Your next step is a bit more abstract than pile 1, but it's about letting the flow of abundance in. It feels like, of that security, that stability, that hopefulness, like wishes and dreams coming through. You know, the Strength card here indicates you've been dealing with difficulties for a long time, clarified by the Five of Wands. I think there's been a lot that you've had to hold in or hold back. You've been felt restricted for a long time. Like these things are not coming together the way you wanted them and hoped for them to. Or maybe having to self-sacrifice again for the greater good of others with this Advocate energy. But this is about continuing to just show up and be honest and sincerely who you are and allow the world to see it. And then at the same time, be focused on self, focused on your happiness. I don't think that's anything that you've done to a great extent in recent time, Pile 2, if I'm quite honest. It feels like you've been actually quite selfless or quite focused on others instead of addressing sort of your own growth, your own potential, your own abundance that very much is yours to personally attend to. So let's see what else we have for next steps for you, Pile 2. So, for some reason today, I'm not feeling and vibing the energy of this card deck being reversed. So let's just take a moment, talk amongst yourselves. I'm going to put all of these the right side up. This drives me nuts. I really cannot do with that. It's like I'm just getting a very strong indication that everything in this deck today should be right side up. So I want that to be how the reading goes. It's a strong message from Source, so give me just a moment as I do that. But we're going to get next steps energy once again, getting further detail on what the next step is to take, what energy you need to step into for things to sort of begin to shift for you. What I think the shift has to do with, quite honestly, is this Advocate energy. So as wonderful as it is to be so helpful and considerate of others, I think it's, Spirit's saying and calling on you to take that time for yourself. It's time for you to focus on your own independent energy, sort of step into this energy of, self-focus and self-development and individuality. Again, it's fine to still have and maintain those connections and to show up for others and to be a support, to be somebody who provides that for others in your community. But you can't abandon or sacrifice at the expense of your own self and your own happiness. And there's huge indicators of happiness here, especially with the soul, El Sol energy, the sun. I think that's a really, really strong, especially with that great and full also. The Ace of Cups reminds me of just all of this abundant, beautiful energy that is ready to enter. You just have to sort of shift your focus there, and then all of that goodness that you do for others can be sort of shifted back onto you. Next steps for Pile 2. Aeipathy, which is the Hierophant. This is the Page of Cups. The Queen of Pentacles. And the Hermit. Yeah, this is sort of disconnecting a bit, stepping into that spiritual journey, that inward journey. As hard as I try, this deck just does not want to stay organized. Oh my goodness. Cards flying everywhere today. But you know what? That's just sort of the theme of the day. This has been a really interesting day, so I am not too surprised. We have the Six of Cups. This card has wanted to come out several times today, but reversed. And every time I grabbed it, I'm just like, it just doesn't feel right that it's reversed. So I love that it came out and came out upright, which is how it felt it needed to be the entire time. We also have the Eight of Wands and the Three of Pentacles. So, again, this is a really strong message that might be slightly triggering for you. But this is almost about needing to, I don't think I grabbed a clarifier for the Hierophant. This is a strong indication that you need to take some time away from sort of the structure or, amount of giving. If this is happening through a work, career-related endeavor, or just, again, societally minded, it's sort of a call to step away from how much, or be mindful of how much you're giving to others. It's time to give to self. When I see the Page of Cups with the Six of Cups, the Six of Cups is always an energy for me of sort of like hearkening back to the past, the innocence of youth, when things were more carefree, when perhaps you were in a better energy, less burdened and encumbered by, feeling the need to be this advocate all the time. this deep support for others, again, at the expense of yourself. I think a lot of these messages, it feels like, will be a little bit hard to swallow for you, because I think that you take so much pride in actual like self-worth and value in what you do and how you contribute towards the lives of others. But again, it's important that our own happiness also take a front row seat. You know, we have the Queen of Pentacles here with the Eight of Wands, which is to say you can be even more abundant and secure and highly regarded even than you are. There's so much more potential available to you, pile 2. But really, honestly, you know, the Hermit here with the Three of Pentacles is a super clear message for me of needing to, again, take that time away, to step away from sort of collaborating with others or working so diligently with others, and to more focus on self and on, again, that inner spiritual enlightenment and growth that needs to happen. So let's get a few more oracle cards and see what else does pile 2 need to know about their next steps, please. We have endless possibilities, card 38. So truly, you know, the potential is limitless. Card 30, shining through. You know, you are a shining star. You're a bright light. This is why so many people are drawn to you. This is why so many people seek out your guidance, your support, your advice. That's why they look to you as a comforting, you know, presence. But in this case, shining through is being a standout in your own life in other ways, other than just how you support others. The endless possibilities is what's capable for your life right now. The steps that you need to be taking are really self-focused. They're going to feel selfish at first. They're going to feel unnatural to you because you've lived your entire life this way. Feels like always almost to an element of people pleasing, but really just being very overtly concerned with the good of others and not so much the self. So I think it's important to keep that in perspective and to recognize how that maybe isn't always serving you best or hasn't allowed for as much growth, expansion, and abundance or success, actual success, as what you'd like to be having. We have up from the depths. So releasing difficulty, card 6. Again, I think this is just releasing any difficult circumstances or any harsh feelings that you feel towards self about taking that time, taking that step away. We also have card 28, ancestors, historical connections and purposes, and freedom, card 4, moving on and letting go. Again, it's time to move forward on from, I think, this advocate, this strong advocate energy. I think, to be clear, this is the essence of who you are, and you can always maintain and sort of retain and hold fast to a part of that as your being, you know, of who you are. But it's time to move forward. It's time for that next stage in life. You know, the bird is outside of the cage, and I love that the cage door is open, you know, an indication that you have the green light from spirit. This is the right time for this. This may not even feel like it, but it's time to release and let go. For me, ancestors with historical connections and purposes. This is about, I think, all of the past connections you've made, all of the people along the way that you've helped. I think this is a long line. If we lined them all up along a path, you know, this would be almost endless of all the people's lives who you've touched. But you know, you can't derive all of your self-worth and your value and your energy from that alone. Again, it needs to be a little bit more self-focused. The next step is a call to step into that mode of surrendering to working with self, that inner work, and ascending in your own individual spirituality, your own life, your own abundance, your own potential. We have one more wanting to come out here. Journey guide, travel, change in location. Again, strong indications that there's a change in the wind, that there is a need to perhaps step away from something, to move on, let it go, or to change it in some form or fashion. So let's go ahead and get some guidance for you. Pile 2, how can you best be supported through this energy? I know this is probably not easy to hear. So 68, boon. Heaven is rushing in and showering you with blessings. Open your heart to receive them. So again, you have to be in receiving mode, just like I asked you to set the intention today to be in receiving mode, even to get these messages to come through to you. I think you have to get yourself equally set in that frame to receive all of the blessings that are waiting for you, again, with those endless possibilities. Heavy heart, card 14. Take time to nurture your emotional wounds. So again, if you're deriving any source of extreme self-worth and sustenance from the way you're helping others as sort of almost like a cure for a deficit of self-love or some emotional core wounding that you hold from within, it's time to resolve that and heal from that as well, because again, we can't place all of our stock in one area, especially when it involves others. You know, our energy really does need to be self-sufficient and self-sustaining, and we really need to put our own happiness first. And if there's any heaviness lingering in your heart, you have to release that. We have card 46, Inner Guidance, which says it is time for you to pay attention and listen to the guidance of your soul. So, you know, coming up over this moving on, letting go energy, I do think that you're feeling it a bit, but you're also feeling guilty whenever those feelings and sensations do come up. And that's another strong message from Source today, that you don't have to feel that way. You most certainly can and should, you know, pursue what's going to make you feel happy, what's going to light you up. And that changes from time to time, and you can't feel remorse for that. You have to be in a good vibration, again, to allow all the blessings in. You have to just trust that changes are a natural, you know, part of life, and it's time for you to change sort of in the way that you're approaching life and the way you're doing things, and that it serves you. It's going to be really beneficial. We also have Archangel Phanuel, card 20, and this is hope, optimism, and new beginnings. We also had the star coming up in the beginning, so another indicator of hope and optimism. Card 41, talent guides, spirit mentors, and teachers. You know, you're being divinely protected and guided, and I do think you're receiving that inner guidance and wisdom, pile 2, and you really have to heed that. It's time for these changes. And then we have past life guides, card 7, karmic lessons and present assistance. You know, of course this is an opportunity for growth, a lesson. You're facing a lot of unknown about the future, about, you know, what does your life look like if you're not doing what you're currently doing? And that's part of the lesson. But, you know, guidance here is that you need to work through and sort of break through that confusion or uncertainty as a result of the choices that you have available to you. Because again, they represent endless possibilities for change and for growth and for an avenue of unlimited expansion, which can just give you insurmountable abundance. You know, I think it's really important that you know that message today, and that you feel courageous and supported and released of any guilt or shame in the feelings that you're having about perhaps stepping out of this strong advocate energy. So pile 2, I really hope that you've enjoyed this reading today and that it's brought you some clarity, some good food for thought perhaps. If you have enjoyed the reading, I would so appreciate you deciding to subscribe. Even just your presence here is so, you know, appreciative for me. I enjoy it so much, sharing space and connecting. So having you here and observing and viewing the content is just wonderful. Again, I'm so thankful for that. But if you choose to engage at all, which includes liking, sharing, commenting, and of course subscribing, it's a wonderful way to help, a free energy exchange for tarot today, and just, you know, a good support of my channel for my growth and individual expansion of my brand and my outreach to the collective with my messages and my channeling. And as well, it has just been an honor to serve you. I hope to do so again in the future. If you feel guided to support the channel in other ways, or if you'd even like to just explore this energy further at a personal level, I do take private services, private reading bookings. And you can find all of the information about how to secure a spot for that in the description box below, as well as in a comment that is posted below. And you know, other ways that you can support me as well if you feel guided to do so. But until next time, pile 2, I am sending you again so much loving, abundant energy. I hope you take great care. Bye-bye. Hey, pile 3, I'm so happy to have you here with me today. You chose the aura-coated quartz, as well as the Liberator card, card 27, which is also the Mille de Sobril rose. Don't know how to pronounce that, but at any rate, the Liberator, so the idea of freedom embodied here. If you skip the intro, I definitely invite you to go back and watch that. It'll give you some insight into the inspiration for today's reading. But in brief, you know, I also like to always, when I do cover cards for a particular reading, I like to set the intention right away with Spirit that it bring forth whichever card is most important for that pile to embody the energies that are going to be present for those watching. So the embodiment of the energy that's most significant for this pile, for you viewers watching pile 3, is that of the Liberator. We're going to go ahead and take a look in a moment at what the book has to say about this oracle card. We'll also see then, of course, how it ties into the rest of the reading later. We'll get lots of tarot as well as other oracle. But essentially this reading was inspired by real life events happening like today in my personal life. And I love to, first of all, you know, come and do a reading when I'm sort of having a moment where I'm needing some deeper connection with source. This is an easy way for me to do that when I'm channeling. And as well, you know, it gives me an open avenue to come forth and support the collective as well. I figured if I'm going through certain energies, perhaps a lot of others are as well, and they would benefit from the insight just as much as I would. So that's why I'm asking today on the behalf of myself as well as others, you know, what is your next step? What can you be doing to transcend the current energies that you're dealing with perhaps and to move forward? This differs from other readings that I've done in the sense that this isn't about, you know, perhaps maybe how to get out of just a difficult situation. Maybe life is going all right for you, or maybe you're just at a crossroads and you're having some difficulty deciding on the next step forward, or maybe it's just not clear to you. Whatever happens to be on your mind or heart is what we're going to be addressing today in terms of just how you can take a next practical step forward. It's also different from the energies of the readings where I ask what is coming next for you, because that implies, you know, already previously manifested energies that are coming in. That'll be old energies that you've already sort of worked through and of course vibrated at a certain level to allow those things, those circumstances and those energies to present themselves in the 3D. But this is about concrete, again, practical action that you can take to, again, move forward, or just to get to the next step, get to the next stage, the next endeavor in life. So the Liberator. The card deck, or card book, I should say, for the Liberator card says, sometimes you need to act and even make decisions completely alone. And though this takes courage, it does ensure that what you are creating for the future is completely in line with your values. There is a new hope, breakthrough, or opportunity coming, but along the way, there is also the chance of a false hope, so be astute in your choosing. The Liberator has a strong, optimistic nature that ensures they can carry the torch of justice and freedom forth for others to be rallied by. They do not give up and will always find a way to make inroads to the outcomes that are true, just, and needed. So it's also tied to the ideas of optimism, justice, freedom, trust, and hope, which is really interesting because quite honestly, as much as I really did intend for these to maybe be different energies for the piles, it's all been very similar. This idea of truth seeking, of how you're showing up in the world, living authentically, you know, becoming free in this case, you know, so really, as I said, transcending your current energies and stepping into a newness, stepping into a more free state of being. Again, we'll see how that resonates kind of and ties back to the rest of the cards that we're going to get for you today. But I love that it also embodies optimism and hope. Of course, you know, we have the white rose of hope. It's white and it's a symbol of actual hope. So that's a great sign, a great indicator. Let's see what else comes through for you, pile 3. We'll be using the Flora Tarot for you today. And as I set the intention earlier today for this reading before it began, I'm asking that my viewers do so as well before they watch the reading. Set your intention that you're open, ready, and willing to receive the insights that are going to come forth for you from Spirit on this topic. Now, these are, of course, timeless readings, so trust also that you are finding this video in the right time and energy for your individual set of circumstances. You know, but you just want to get yourself into the right mode to take in these messages as well. And trust, you know, that Spirit has led you here for a reason, that there is a message here for you. And to help anchor and validate those messages when they come through, you can also, and I highly encourage that you do, select a sign. It can be anything at all. And just by selecting that sign, it's again a clear, easy way for Spirit to come forth to communicate very directly with you in a very efficient means, and to help show their support and continued love for you, because of course they do. And you'll often see that the sign or symbology you've selected not only shows up in the reading you've asked for it, but in other areas of your life as well. So I just think it's always highly encouraged that you select that sign. It's going to help to even create more depth of meaning for you for this reading. So pile 3, what is your next step in going forward here? What is your next step? What is the next step you should take? What does Spirit want you to know? We have Justice. I think that was the first card out for pile 2 as well. As I said, so many things today between the piles. So 5 of Cups, Page of Pentacles, and the 2 of Wands. You know, this could be like a collective sort of a shift in energy right now that could be occurring. So that's wonderful. Clarifying, we have 2 for Justice, which is Flora, a special card unique to this deck, as well as the Hermit. For the 5 of Cups, we have the King of Pentacles, the Ace of Pentacles for the page, and lastly, the 6 of Pentacles for the 2 of Wands. And let's also get some Oracle out on the table. I don't actually think I identified this deck in any of the piles today, but this is the Oracle of the 7 Energies by Colette Baron Reid. Beautiful deck. We have Body and Soul, card number 5. And card number 43, Spirit of Gratitude. So what is your next step, pile 3? I'm going to pull a few more oracle cards. We have card 37, Creation, which is soul expression in something new. And I just want to kind of make space for everything. And then we also have Family Tree, number 14, Expansion and Legacy. Your next step. I'm just trying to get clear here on the message because this one's not flowing as easily as the other 2 piles today. I think there's a lot of confusion on your part that I'm picking up. A lot of, doesn't even necessarily feel like blocked energy. It just feels like I have no idea what I'm doing or how to go about it. There's definitely an energy of decision making with this 2 of Wands clarified by the 6 of Pentacles. And I think this involves a decision regarding others, what you're giving to others, what you are expressing to others, how much you're showing of your true self. We also have Justice here, which of course is the energy of morality and truth, honesty. It is authenticity in this case, and it's been that way for each pile today. Flora is a card unique to this deck, and of course, you know, it wasn't actually even a card that was meant to be in the deck itself, but the funny story behind that energy, the background on that, if you will, is I did the deck review for that, and the tarot creator of this particular deck, which her name is Laura, she's awesome and wonderful. She, you know, was so surprised to see certain cards included that I had discussed and talked about and then actually used in the mini pick a card I had at the end of the review. One of those being this card, because apparently those were just extra sort of bonus cards that she never actually intended to have as part of the card deck. But I always intended to use them as such. And they come out quite often, and every time they do, they always resonate back so, so well. Flora, in this case, was a goddess, and Flora and Fauna both were sisters, and they represented abundance and the idea of beauty and serenity and peace. It's sort of like an Empress energy or an Empress vibe to me, coming in with the Hermit. So this is about like spiritual growth and progression, coming into what it actually feels like, quite honestly, is your own divine femininity. And we do have Body and Soul here, which is about, again, that authenticity and that merging of the inner and outer parts of who you are. So your inner being merging with your physical self. This feels spiritual in nature, but at the same time, it's almost like grounding and incorporating the physical 3D part of yourself. We even have here family tree, you know, so expansion, your legacy, what you leave behind, what tangibility between what you've put out into the world, or what you've, who you've shared it with, and what you leave behind, comes in with your soul path and soul expression, something new with this creation card. And then we have body and soul, and then the spirit of gratitude. So the spirit of thankfulness and appreciation. This very much to me feels like liberation from sort of 3D paradigms. So for you, this may look like stepping into a more dedicated soul mission, perhaps leaving what I call the 3D matrix behind. This could be working that traditional, 9 to 5, or being in, there's so many analogies and metaphors, but like being in the rat race, climbing the corporate ladder, whatever you would like to call it, referred to as. It's just this idea of sort of stepping away from the physical construct of how the 3D world dictates or mandates that we should live, and embracing a more joyful, excuse me, don't know what's going on here, more joyful and expressive and just creative sense of self, again, that spiritual side, the side that's more free, and of course more, honest and open, and again, authentic as well. But there's something about this that, causes you to feel guilt or shame, or just, I think like the facing of judgment from others is what keeps you held back. The King of Pentacles in this case, I'm very much looking at is like either an actual physical person in your life, a manifestation of an energy, like in the form of a boss or a spouse, or somebody who's just very rooted in the 3D. Okay, this is an earth energy, an earth sign even perhaps. It's someone who's very grounded and almost stubborn, set in their ways, and very practically minded, pragmatic and logical. And they won't take very lightly or receptively, I'm hearing, to your decision to embrace and embody a more spiritual sense of self. But even despite this, I mean, it's so important for you, for this new beginning that is available to you, to really offer, that to yourself, and offer that to the world as this gift, of the spiritual you, and what that looks like, and how that can be of greater service and benefit both to yourself and also to others as well, the collective. And I identify with this so much because, like many spiritualists, when you begin in the world, you're raised and taught from the time you're very small to be success oriented. So having the best grades, getting into the best colleges, having a wonderful job that pays a ton of money, how big your house is, how nice of a car you drive. I mean, the list goes on. And it's nothing about the content of your character or how rich and joyful and happy your soul is. Children are actually the closest embodiment in physical form or human form to source energy, because they haven't been here as long. They're not as tainted by life experience. And they really do embody, what it is to be pure, positive source energy the majority of the time. And then they grow up and they are exposed to all of those, like I said, very practical sort of rules for the world, and then that shifts and skews their view. And that's kind of how we all experience life, the majority of us, and it's very difficult. We often have to go through several spiritual awakenings then in adulthood, in which we come back to self, we remember who we are, we remember our authentic, the truth of the matter, and we go and we embark on this spiritual journey, which is indicated here by the Hermit, which helps us to again step back into that energy of the self. And I do think that's the point at which you're at, where you're starting to shed layers and abandon and leave behind all of these ideals and these 3D, again, kind of like pretenses, the things that are dictated that you need to act like and be like in order to be a success or in order to be happy. This is about you just really wanting to make a decision for how you show up to others, the way you present yourself, the way you give to others, and what you do. Who you are. I mean, literally, it's almost like a complete, I don't want to say identity crisis, that has a very negative connotation to me, but it's almost like an identity revamping or transformation. And again, getting free. So let's see what else. This is a great reading so far. What else does pile 3 need to know, please? We have the Queen of Cups in reverse. I don't often take reversals, so when I get them, I usually do take them if I feel called to, and I do today. We have the 10 of Cups, the 2 of Swords, and the Knight of Swords. We also have the Eight of Cups, along with, this is another one of those bonus cards I talked about, like Flora, where it wasn't meant to be in there, but it definitely is meant to be in there, you know what I mean? And we have the Two of Cups. And the Knight of Pentacles. So this is really interesting. The Queen of Cups, clarified by the Eight of Cups, is sort of, to me, an abandonment of self, not living your truth. You know, so the truth of who you are is, of course, the Queen of Cups upright, which is a beautifully nurturing and compassionate, loving, intuitive energy. As somebody who's just an embodiment of spirit, I would say, aside from the High Priestess, certainly in the Minor Arcana, the Queen of Cups is the most spiritually minded figure. And I think, again, that's who you're naturally meant to be. That's your true essence. But the Eight of Cups is, again, sort of like a walking away to me. It also can represent an inward journey, but again, with this energy being reversed as it is, you know, it's indicating a blockage, it's indicating a misalignment or a distortion. And with that, you know, I again just feel it's an abandonment or a walking away from who you truly are. We have the Ten of Cups, which is happiness, fulfillment at an emotional level, and it's clarified by this black card, which, as you can probably guess, is really not the most positive. It indicates blockages and obstacles and barriers. So it's literally saying a blockage to your happiness is a result of not stepping into who you truly are. Of course, who could be fulfilled and truly satisfied long term when they're not living in authenticity and in alignment with the truth of who they really are? We also have the Two of Swords, which is clarified by the Two of Cups. So this is resisting connections and intimacy and not getting close to others, or not allowing life to flow in that way and experience that beautiful love in all regards. You know, this could be familial love. We have the family tree card here. You know, it also can be in regards to a partner, but it also is related to self-love, and it just feels like there's a huge blockage as well with that, with the flow and the outpouring of love and happiness and emotional fulfillment as a result of, again, being sort of out of whack and out of alignment with who you really are. The Knight of Swords with the Knight of Pentacles. So this is like slowing up your progress. You know, it's like the Knight of Swords is super quick. It's the most fast-paced, I would say, of all of the knights. Even though the Knight of Wands is very quick as well in its own regard, there's such a swiftness and a quickness and a sharpness to the Knight of Swords that almost has an even greater sense of speed to me than the Knight of Wands. And then we have the slowest, which is the Knight of Pentacles, which is to say this grounded, practical, but truly sustainable success and abundance that you could be having has always sort of eluded you. Maybe you've had it in short bursts or at a lesser degree, but it's never come in full force or as swiftly and as quickly and as fully as you'd like it to. And in fact, it's often being held up and counteracted. Think of the quickest of something and then the slowest of something merging and blending together. Well, it's going to be neither of those things and somewhere in the middle, but it also almost acts as like a canceling out of each other. So this is saying, you know, again, that living outside of the truth of who you really are, not being, you know, in alignment with your body and soul, it's not allowed you to really embrace life fully and be who you truly are and show that to the world and enjoy it for yourself and allow it to take you places and to make you transform into who you are willing and wanting and are meant to be for the most happy, joyous experience here in this physical human form. You know, that's sad energy to realize that, but also at the same time, I think it's so important because then once we are aware of it, we can change it, right? So let's get a little bit more information for you, pile 3, on what are the next steps to take. So, you know, this is more telling us why this has happened and now what can we do about it. Healing the heart, card 23. So again, you know, needing to turn that Queen of Cups upright, letting that energy flow, stepping into that big, beautiful heart that you possess and opening it to yourself and to the world and healing any emotional distortion that exists within you that is, you know, resulted from not being who you truly are and want to be. Birds of a Feather, card 25. This to me very much is signifying like groupthink or just fitting in for the sake of it, you know, community mindedness instead of individuality. And that's probably what you are liberating yourself from presently. tall tale coming out also, card 35. So living a lie, literally not living authentically, not being able to be who you truly are. Sort of like to address both of these energies. You need to heal the heart. You need to release and open up. Sacred Reverence, card 47. So look at how in this card there's literally hands making a heart, this beautiful heart shaped like the earth. So again, this idea of freedom for expression in the world, in this universe. And then there's a key there. So unlocking it, liberating it, freeing it, you know, releasing those emotions, letting them go. A Burst of Magic, card 48. This is about just going for it and just to hell with who doesn't like it, not caring. Opening to discovery, card 34. Yeah, opening up to the magic, opening up to what is, you know, what already exists within you. And just, again, as I said, how children are who they are, and then slowly through the process of living and growing older and being exposed to so many influencing factors and, you know, false narratives and limiting beliefs, do they then form all of these opinions and these beliefs for themselves, which limit them, and it takes away from being in alignment with who they truly are. It's then all about us undoing the damage of our upbringing, which, you know, people who are with us are as well intended as they can be most of the time, but it's just still difficult. And that's why it takes these spiritual awakenings to kind of help us open back up to discovering who we truly are, remembering who we are actually. So let's get some guidance for you, pile 3, on how you can best move through these energies and support yourself. What better deck to use than the Guiding Light Oracle? What is the guidance and advice for pile 3? Supernova, card 40. An aspect of your personality, ego self, must die to make way for a new shiny star to be born. Yep, that's the process of what's happening. Soul searching, card 44. It's time to go within and uncover your true feelings. Absolutely. And to release them, to let them be free. You are the liberator. And lightheartedness, card 57. It is time for you to let your inner child out to play. I'm actually like just so giddy over how resonating those messages are for you. So everything we've talked about, it further expands upon and sort of validates the energies that we picked up about returning to a state of innocence or freeness and lightheartedness like that of youth and childhood before we're tainted, essentially. You know, in soul searching, it's about, you know, time to go within and uncover your true feelings. So we have this sacred reverence. So, you know, all tying back and hearkening to emotion, the idea of really opening up and tapping into that potential, unlocking the key, healing the heart, you know, stepping into that emotional self. Even this, turning that Queen of Cups energy upright, no longer having that distortion, being free with the energies of that emotion. It's just wonderful. I love how this, I even had, you know, just vision with Supernova of just like being so special and so capable of delivering so much to this universe, to this world, at a spectacular, like exceptional level. And that's where creation comes in, you know, soul expression and something new. You're meant for something way bigger than what you're doing, pile 3, and you've got to embrace it. I mean, spirit of gratitude. So just appreciate that you are living this life at this time and you are coming into this truth, and this is the lifetime where it happens, and you have all the rest of your life now, your existence, to make good on it and to do some great things. Let's get a few final cards for you. Guidance for pile 3, please. Archangel Haniel, joy, blessings, and intuition. Absolutely step into intuition, pile 3. It's going to lead you on the right track. Your eternal spirit, higher self, and sacred intuition. Again, with the intuition, and also again the merging of the body and the soul, the inner being versus the outer self. And talent guides, card 41, spirit mentors and teachers. You're guided and supported at every level, pile 3. The universe is supporting you, guiding you, loving you, encouraging you, and hoping for you that you finally come into the truth of the knowing of who you really are, and that you can embrace it and live life. The force of love and creation, divine presence. You are a divine being, the force of love. There is no greater, more powerful existence of energy in the universe than that of love. And that's going to really take you to great places and allow you to do amazing things. Again, if you just open up your heart, live authentically, and embrace this form of self, you know, creation, abundance, joy, blessings, all of those things are possible for you. So pile 3, I so hope that you've enjoyed this reading today and that it has brought you some clarity, some great food for thought. If you have enjoyed the reading, first of all, your presence here alone just means the world to me, and I am so thankful for you choosing to share space and connect today. It's been an honor to read for you to do so. But if you feel guided to support me in other ways, first and foremost, subscribing to the channel. It is the greatest way that my channel has the ability to grow and to reach the wider collective. As well, go ahead and like the video, share, comment on it, peruse my other playlists if you feel guided to. And if you also feel guided to support the channel in other ways, private readings are available. If you'd like to explore this energy in greater depth for your personal circumstances, I am available for private services. All of the information is available for that about dropping me an email to book. It is found in the description box, as well as in a comment listed below. And as well, there's other ways to support me additionally in those same areas that are available, different avenues. So I appreciate you and thank you in advance for considering if you choose to do so. And again, it's just been wonderful to have you here. I am sending you so much loving, abundant energy until we meet again. And until next time, pile 3, take great care. Bye-bye.